CNN's chief medical correspondent, Dr. Sanjay Gupta. Good morning, Sanjay. So this, a broken neck, a broken bone in his neck, that still sounds serious.
Yeah, you know, there's several bones in the neck. What I've read is that the vertebrae, which is one of the bones in the front of the neck, in front of the spinal cord, is what's broken. This is not an uncommon type of fracture. The big question, and this is what I was trying to figure out from reading the information we're getting, did he have any weakness or numbness in his hands as a result? Did that bone push on his spinal cord? And from what I've read, Allison, you read a lot of the same things, it doesn't sound like that happened. It also doesn't sound like they're thinking he needs any sort of operation. They're going to put him in a neck brace, they're saying, which is a pretty standard sort of treatment for someone who doesn't have movement of that bone. That bone's not pushing on the spinal cord. They think if they just put someone in a neck brace, the bone will heal. That's the hope. He's 91 years old. He's going to heal more slowly than other people. People who have fractures in the neck, people who have fractures in the hip, things like that. You certainly want to, you worry that they don't become immobilized. You want to make sure they get up out of bed, they're moving around, things like that.
Of course, and I mean, even with this injury, the fear is with any sort of break in or around the neck is that there could be paralysis. How did he avoid that?
Well, you know, it's a little bit unclear that we haven't seen any images, but what can happen is essentially you can have what's called a non-displaced fracture. So you think about the bone and it looks like a sort of block. Think of building blocks. They're all stacked up one on top of each other. That's what the bones in front of the spinal cord look like. You could have just a crack, if you will, in one of those bones. So the bones don't actually move, but there's definitely a fracture that's going through the bones. That can happen, and that's a more common scenario than someone actually breaking the bone and developing paralysis or weakness or numbness as a result. So again, it sounds like that's what's happened. We've not seen any images, but based on the fact that they expect him to go home quickly, based on the fact that they're not planning an operation, they're just going to treat him with a neck brace, that does sound positive. One of the biggest concerns, though, even in some ways more so than the broken neck itself, is this is a guy who's 91 years old, has had problems with lung problems in the past. Developing a pneumonia, developing some sort of lung infection would be a very serious problem. So getting him up and about quickly, I think, is going to be the name of the game. If we hear that he's still in the hospital, in the bed for several more days, that's going to raise some more flags.
That would concern you. So let me just put that graphic back up, because he has had a series of health scares recently. He was hospitalized for shortness of breath in December. He was hospitalized for 2 months, as you were mentioning, Sanjay, for bronchitis-related cough. That was in 2012. He does have Parkinson's disease. He is wheelchair-bound, and as you point out, I mean, at 91 years old, what is a relatively minor injury for other people, sometimes, as we've all seen with older people, does have this cascading effect, and suddenly they do have problems with their lungs or their heart if they are not mobile. So that's what you as a doctor would be keeping an eye on.
Yeah, absolutely, and there's all kinds of studies on exactly what you're describing, Allison. We know, for example, people who are elderly who get a hip fracture. Even if that hip fracture is treated well, they get good care, it's fast care, it does worsen other medical problems, especially if it makes you more immobilized. So you can think of a neck fracture, an isolated neck fracture, sort of the same way. Even if it did not cause paralysis, the rehab around this, you know, he's going to wear this neck brace. How debilitating is that going to be for him? I know that sounds like a simple thing, but again, because he's 91 years old, because he has these other things, he has this form of Parkinson's, all of that's going to play a role here. I think if also his treating doctors, and again, this may sound like a simple thing, what caused the fall?
Yeah.
Was this just something that did he trip? He's in a wheelchair typically. Was he standing at the time? Again, these aren't details that we have, but in order to sort of put all the pieces of the puzzle together, you'd want to know the answers to those questions as well.